Welcome in to the Subconscious Mind Mastery Podcast. Thomas Miller, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you have your seatbelts fastened and you are ready for takeoff, because this is going to be an amazing episode that is going to rock your boats. I'm promising you. Julie Jancius was with us back in April 2019. Back then, she had just launched her podcast called Angels and Awakenings, and her whole thing has taken off in an incredible way over these last 3 years. And she is back now with a book under the same name, Angels and Awakenings. But the conversation that we had that you are about to hear was absolutely phenomenal. So get ready to meet your angels. And then at the very end, you'll have to stay with it. We talked about some of you have lost loved ones recently, and she talks about those little messages that you're hearing and sensing, what to do with them. So that's at the very end. Now, in order to get started with the material that we're going to step into and talk about here, I asked Julie to lead us into an angel meditation to get started.
Perfect. So if everybody is in a safe space where you're not driving or operating any machinery, why don't you just close your eyes with us here right now, just for a moment. Take that deep breath in, deep breath out. And I want you to really see your guardian angel. A lot of people don't know this, but some people don't just have one guardian angel, they have 2, 3. And so I just want you to close your eyes and really see and envision in front of you. You might just see these kind of blobs of energy as your eyes are closed. How many energies do you feel or see right in front of you? As I was meditating on being here with you today and talking with my angels this morning, it was your guardian angels coming through, asking me to help you get in tune with them. So I just want you to ask God, Universe, Source, how many guardian angels do I have? And what number comes to you? 1, 2, 3? Whatever that first answer is that you get, that's it. And what your guardian angels want you to feel in this moment right here, right now, is that they know you better than you know yourself. They don't just know every moment you've lived in this lifetime. They know every single moment that is to come for you in this lifetime. And they know every past life that you have lived. They know everything that makes your soul who and what it is. And what your homework is, your guardian angels say, is to spend some time in this just oneness energy, this frequency this week. And whatever number you got, whether it was 1, 2, or 3, I want you to ask God, Universe, Source, what are the names of my guardian angels? And just allow those names to come through you as you go about your day, as you go about your week. And the first thing that comes to you that resonates, trust it. And I hope today I can teach you more about connecting with your angels and really going to them for guidance, because you don't have to do this alone. And that's what they want you to know. So feel that love, feel that support. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And we'll return to the show.
What does it mean if I got 5?
Thomas, you have a lot of things going on in your life. You're a multitasker, entrepreneur, healer who is here to impact the lives of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of souls. You need more support, my friend.
That's not including the 7 who resigned several years ago.
That's not possible. They don't do that.
I quit. Angels have been a part of your world and your work for quite some time now. Why the connection with angels? How did you get into being so connected? And you're kind of like the advocate for, as you just said, hey, we don't have to do this alone, but why not a bottle, or why not a television? Why an angel?
It comes down to who and what we truly are. We live in these flesh bodies, but this isn't us, right? You know that we begin as a soul. And where does that soul journey start? Starts on the other side, really in the place of all that is. That's another story for a different day. But here's what you need to know. God, universe, source, energy, we're part of all that is. And I don't believe that God, universe, source set us up to come here to fail, to have a miserable life, to have a hard time, to struggle. There are systems in place to help us every single step of the way. However, we've been socialized into having outlets that don't totally serve us, that keep us within the subconscious energy. Your angels pull you out of that. Your angels know, like I just said, every single moment of your entire existence, not just this lifetime. But if you and I, Thomas, if all of us here have lived 1,000 lives, they know all of it. And so what some angels come in and show me is like, okay, if you consider this life a puzzle, right? And you've got all these pieces that you're plugging in every single year that you're alive, that's just one puzzle that fits into a grander puzzle of who your soul is. Because if you took all of those 1,000 lifetimes, so that's 1,000 different puzzles, plug that into a more massive puzzle. There's a lot going on. There are different systems at play here. You have the subconscious, you have the egoic mind, you have responsibilities here in this lifetime. And we can feel very easily this stress, this depression, this anxiety. And there's real research now that shows that when you're a spiritually healthy person, when you have spiritual wellness in your life, you don't have as much depression, anxiety, stress. They're measuring this now, and it's fantastic.
I would dare say that a majority of the people listening, when they have a challenge or when something comes up, do not, by default, go to their angels first.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you do because that's your practice.
Yeah.
Why do we not, if we have this ignition of power at our fingertips, why do we not use it?
Oh, you remember, I know you and I have been in this for a long time. Remember back around, what was it, like 2006, 2007, when The Secret first came out?
Yes, I
And
think you're right.
That
was about it. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the first things that they said in that movie is that this information has been hidden from you. Why? Because when society can be controlled by placing fears and doubts and all of this self-limiting belief system in your path, it keeps you small. And this has completely shifted. I truly believe that there was a huge energetic shift in 2011, and all of the old way of being is out. There's a new way of being that has come in, and you can feel it very, very palpably. You can feel a different energy. And the veil is thinner. Some say it's totally true. We have access to more information from the other side than we ever had before. And we're supposed to take it. We're supposed to raise the vibration here on this planet. It's supposed to be a different place. But you can't do that alone. I can't do that alone. It has to be a collective effort.
So how are angels now assisting we humans, folks like you, folks like me, and folks like you that have earbuds in your ears listening to this right now? How are angels assisting us on this new path?
Okay, so here's the way that I want to describe it. So a lot of your listeners have probably heard of energy healing, Reiki, and you really have to take, I'm going to throw out a couple different pieces and I'm going to smush them all together. Okay. So that's one piece. You have to really look at what is the soul? What are the components of the soul? The soul is both vibrational frequency, it is being, it is energy, and it is thought consciousness. It is not the thought consciousness of the egoic mind, your subconscious thoughts here. It is the conscious thought of your intuition. And so when you look at energy healing, like Reiki and different energy healing modalities, what they do is they work with the vibrational frequencies alone. They do not work with the thoughts. And so I ended up, Thomas, going through an energy healing program. My dad passed away. We hadn't been talking. He started coming through because I didn't find out for an entire month he had passed. And what happened was I recognized he was coming through. So I took this energy healing program to kind of figure out how I was hearing from him, but realized that a lot of people are just working with vibrational frequencies. When a person leaves a Reiki session or an energy healing session, there's still all of this thought swirl. So how are the angels working with us? It's completely our thoughts. It's completely our vibrational frequency, because you have to have this pairing of those two things in order to bring through complete, full healing to people. So the angels really step in to, one, help you get hold of your consciousness. I bet a lot of people who listen to your podcast see angel numbers, 1111. 1212, 222. You see it on the license plates. You see it on the clock. You see it on receipts. You see it. I saw this morning somebody posted all of these different expiration dates on the food they had just brought home from the grocery store. And she lined up 3 items, looked down, and realized it was the date her son had passed, the date her son was born, and like the date that she got married, and her anniversary was coming up. And so they start to come through with getting a hold of your consciousness. This is the very first step, because if your angels can get a hold of your intuitive thought system, hey, we're here with you. Look at the clock. Do you see that? We're working with you. Now they can build upon that. And when you have subconscious minds, because we're very robotic, people do not realize, they think that they're in control of their lives. They're not. You are completely dominated by the hormones within you, the chemicals within you, your subconscious mind, and it's leading you in the direction it wants you to go pretty much 98 to 99% of the time. Your angels have to get you to step out of that. If you want to be living the life, your purpose, the reason that your soul came here. And so in order to do that, they walk you through this incremental process. And seeing angel numbers, that's the first piece. But then you got to go deeper. They want to work with your thoughts so that when you think to yourself, wow, I remember, Thomas, being in my corporate office, age like 33, looking out of like, I was really successful, really young, had this huge window in my office. I had the money I wanted to be making. I had the title. I had a team working for me. I was on a trajectory to the top of my career, and looking out of this window thinking, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. But I wouldn't let myself even consider doing something else because that egoic mind kept getting in the way. How could you leave this money? How could you you're on this trajectory. How could you blow everything up? It wasn't where I was supposed to be. And if people allow that self-doubt to ruminate within them and they only follow that self-doubt, that's all you get. And you're going to stay in that stuck place. Your angels want to take you out of that. What do you want? What's in your heart? What's calling to you? Because God placed that there. And in order for you to get to that place, you have to step out of fear. And that's what your angels are helping you to do.
I know from our Facebook group page, Subconscious Mind Mastery podcast listeners, You just spoke to a lot of people right there from some of the latest posts that I've been seeing. You just nailed it.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome.
What's your thought on the distinction between angels? And we'll talk about your book here. I'm glad you memorialized all of this. We'll get to that, believe me. But the difference between angels and intuition, or a tarot reading, or
Totally.
an astrological chart.
Sure. So every single soul that's alive and breathing has an intuition, every single one of us. Now, some of us don't use it at all, right? And some of us use it like 99%, 100%. What happens is every single person is intuitive, but not everyone has done the work to understand who's connecting them to that information from the other side. So when you go through, like I have an angel Reiki school where I walk you through how to do this work. I teach you how to do this work in this program. And what ends up happening is that everybody has spiritual gifts. Now, remember when I said the energy shifted in 2011? What happened was, if you look at healing modalities from probably 2015 before, it was very much a stay in your lane. If you're this, just do this. There wasn't a lot of crossover. Okay. And what the angel said is that's completely out of the window. They need people to have this crossover. So when people go through the Angel Reiki school, what I did was created a program where you can pull out all of your spiritual gifts. What are all of them? And let's work together to figure out what that business model is for you to be serving other people, because that's why your soul is here. And so when my students go through the program, some of them, Thomas, they only see angels. They only hear from angels. Some of them connect only with loved ones on the other side. I don't really work with guides a lot, but some of my students do. And it's just guides coming through. So what happens is, once you go through a program, you can see where the message is coming through and you can develop it more.
That is awesome. All roads do lead to Rome, right?
Yes.
And different modalities speak to us, but what you're saying is this divine connection that's threading it all together is the angelic realm, which of course sits in the highest energies in the universe.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. Before we talk about your book, I'd like you to tell people what you have behind you as I'm looking at you here on Zoom. And they can't see that, of course, because this is audio. So you're going to have to vividly describe what you've created, because I'll bet, I'm just got a hunch that helped you to execute and write the book as well. What did you do to your walls?
Oh, this right here, the I love you signs?
Well, no, the walls, how you did your walls in dry board, how you could mark on your walls.
Oh, you mean my whiteboard room?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, I don't remember talking to you about this. Are you talking about this right here or the other room?
Yeah, I guess it's the other room, but you had it on that podcast where you were interviewing.
Oh, okay. I know what. Okay. So my husband, is not a spiritual, like he's spiritual, but he's not like as in this as I am. And he's not an entrepreneur. His brain works very differently. So he calls this my beautiful mind room. But we just moved into a new house because the podcast blew up, and the entire business just went crazy, bananas successful, and I needed more space to be able to do my work. So we moved to a new house this summer, and we just so happened to have a spare bedroom. And in that bedroom, I decided to get whiteboard paint and paint the entire room in whiteboard paint so that I could write on the walls when messages come through every day, and when messages come through about how I'm supposed to serve and what courses I'm supposed to create and how I'm supposed to help. So every morning I go into that room I meditate, and I just write down the messages that are coming through on this wall. And it's just so fun. But it was so funny, Thomas, when the painter came to paint it, he goes, the whole wall. And I go, yeah, no, like all the walls in this room. And he goes, so I've done this before for other families, and like they just want like a section, like maybe 3 by 5 feet. And I'm like, nope, I want the whole thing. So the entire room is a whiteboard.
That is so cool. I wanted people to hear that. That is just so awesome. When I stop doing the van, I'm going to go live in a whiteboard room.
Yeah. My
That'll
beautiful mind room.
Yes, that is so cool. All right. And probably from some of those inspirations written on the annals of those walls came a book. Tell us about your book.
Oh, yeah. So it's called Angels and Awakening, just like my podcast. And what it does is, Thomas, a lot of people said, make it 2 books, make it a workbook and a book. They're like, you'll sell more. And I said, I don't care about selling. This isn't the point. There's such good information. And I'm so ADHD that if I get a book and a workbook, I never have the workbook with me when I'm reading the book. So I thought, I'm making this for moms who are busy, just like I am, and people who are ADHD. It takes you through the channel of how you connect with God, universe, source in order to bring through messages. That's the first, probably like 1/3 of the book. And then the rest of the book is almost like an angel dictionary. So it goes through all of the different angels and describes why they were created, why they're here, how they're working for you in your life. And at the end, what I do is have you pull it all together to recognize who's on your spirit team. Everybody has a spirit team with angels, with loved ones, with guides. And so by the end, you have section in this book to write down, here's all of the angels on my team. Here's all of the ways in which they're working with me. Here are all of the loved ones on my team from the other side. Here's how they're working with me. And that way, when you leave this book, and I think a lot of people are just getting used to binging stuff, right? I don't want people to binge it. I want you to marinate in it, right? I want you to take it slowly as you walk through, because every day, if you just read a chapter or a section, what'll happen? And so I break it out into 12 weeks of like, just do this each week. And it tells you exactly what to do each week. But if you do that way, your angels are going to come in throughout your day, throughout your week, and they're going to be showing you different things. And you're really learning through the book how to increase your own intuition, how to hear, see, feel your angels and your loved ones on your spirit team.
That is a treasure trove resource. I'm so glad you wrote it. Tell people again, because I know when they hear things in passing, it doesn't stick. The name of the book and where to find it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's called Angels and Awakening. It's a guide to raise your vibration and hear your angels. It's blue and got black like font on the front. And then it's on Amazon. If you search that, it's on Audible. We recorded it for Audible. It's on what do they call that? Kindle, if you want,
right.
if you do Kindle. But I really suggest, if you can, get the physical one as well, so that you can write in the workbook. It's also on barnesandnoble.com if you like them better.
All right, perfect. And Julie's last name is Jancius, and it's Jancius.
You're correct.
All right.
Yep.
Now, tell them also about your podcast.
So, Thomas, you were one of the very first guests on the show. I started the show 3 years ago, actually, this time. And it's so fun because I remember being in my kitchen with my husband making dinner and just being so giddy, right? And I said to him, what if 100 people listen to the show? And I was just freaking out. Like, that would be so cool. We, like last week, got 50,000 downloads in
Awesome.
1 week.
Awesome.
Yes.
Way to go.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. So it's just really fun. And what we do is just keep it all about the intent of serving, bringing through the max benefit for every person listening. So it's Thursdays, we have a new angel story about how angels are working with people in real life. And then on Mondays, we have an interview with someone spiritual like yourself.
So,
Okay.
Julie, let me ask you one other thing. I'm just going with something here. So, we have a Facebook page, and it's called Subconscious Mind Mastery and Fun Astrology Podcast Listeners. Covers both podcasts. It is an amazing group of people. And to get in, we don't take everybody. It's a private group, and they have to acknowledge on the entry questions that they are a podcast listener. So the reason is we wanted that energy of people who are of this common mind, not people that are coming in from the outside that don't speak this language. Would you consider coming into that Facebook page and contributing with us in there?
Oh, I love that. I love that. And you know what, Thomas? I just got done writing 52 love letters from your angels. I could post one of those every week over there if you'd like.
Oh, how cool would that be? So see, folks, if you're not in the Facebook group now, you need to come find us because Julie's going to be in there and we'll get that fired off right away. Oh, thank you for doing that. That's going to be a great asset and contribution.
Oh, of course.
Boy, you have really fallen into, I love what you were saying, that everything has taken off for you. Your podcast, you said, has over 300 episodes now,
Yeah.
right? So you've got a bunch of episodes. You got a bunch of people listening. You're in the big leagues now of, you get those kinds of download numbers, and you are definitely in the upper tier of podcasts in the world. You think about that.
Yeah.
And the whole reason, I think, is exactly as you were saying, because the universe, the angels, your own ego could have left you alone in that nice office for the next 30 years. You would have had a good run, and nobody's life would have been changed. So what this is about is that you are definitely bringing this message of transformation to help shift this very era of energy that we are in. I know you did some overviews of 2022 when we're recording this. What do you see for the next 5 to 10 years ahead of us, do you think?
So what I keep seeing is, have you explored at all this Meta, with the new Facebook Meta thing that they're going to be coming out with, Thomas?
My kids have told me about it, and my son said that, he said, Dad, that's how you're going to be communicating with your grandchildren, so you better figure it out.
It's not just your grandchildren. So I finally got this the other day when I was talking to a friend, and he was saying, what's going to be happening is everybody's going to have a VR headset. And listen, people are going to be balking at me when I say this, right? And yet they were in 2000 when Facebook first came out, and grandparents were like, I'm never getting on there. You can say that this isn't for you, but listen, this is coming and you better get on board. What's going to happen is everybody's going to have a VR headset, right? And there are going to be different communities. So if you want to go to a yoga class, put on your VR headset, you head into your yoga class and you look around and there are people next to you on their mat. And not only that, but you can go to a yoga class in Bali, right? You can be in Fiji, you can be in Australia on the beach, because with this augmented reality, you could be anywhere. And I believe that that's coming for a lot of healers too. So I'm starting to look at that. I'm starting to research that. What's happening and what's going to be coming over the next 10 years, the pendulum is going to continue to swing with our own conscious thoughts. We have to step out of this robotic way of living where our hormones, our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts drive every single action that we take. In order to raise the vibration, we have to step out of that completely. But in order for us to step out of that, the pendulum has to swing where we can see it. Because when you can see it within the world, oh my God, this person is just going crazy over here, you can see the crazy within yourself. And we are all a little bit crazy, right? We are all a little bit goofy and mad and self-centered. But what I have learned is that when that is mirrored back to you, that's when you awaken. That's when you become conscious. And that's where you have choice. Am I going to continue to be that way? Or am I going to choose love and kindness and compassion and action? We can take action with love. We can take action with kindness. But I think that the pendulum is going to swing, and I don't want people to be scared. It's in order to wake humanity up. It's in order for us to see it and make the choice. What am I going to choose? Am I going to choose love, or am I going to continue to hold on to this hate within my heart?
Gosh, there's so much we could talk about here. We'll have to do more of this. But one other question I'd love for you to take a stab at, because I hear this a lot again in our Facebook group, is I know that there's something more for me out there, but I just can't lock on to what it is yet.
Yeah.
How do you answer people there?
It's work to find out exactly what it is. And I don't know if it's okay to talk about my courses and programs.
Sure.
Okay. So, what I was spending my time doing last year, Thomas, is I created a whole 52 weeks of content. It's really 13 different months of courses that walk you through just that. How do you awaken? How do you step into oneness frequency, the highest vibration that is? How do you get to know all of your angels? How do you do shadow work and really detach from the ancestral trauma, heal the ancestral trauma, heal your inner child? How do you understand who you are as an empath and not allow things to bother you? How do you rewrite your story, rewire your mind, deepen your connection with your loved ones on the other side? So, like when you go to college and there's prerequisites, you can't take this course. So each course builds upon itself. And Thomas, there's a lot of people out there who are charging like $800, $1,000 a month for less than I give away in my angel membership. It's $111 a month, and you get to go through all of those courses throughout the year. And then you also get 5 live events every month so that I can continue to coach you. And you have community. You have other people who are like you that want the same things you do, think the same ways that you do, and you get to know other people in there and feel that yummy support.
Oh, I'm so glad you've made that guide available, Julie. That's just awesome.
I forgot to mention there's 2 courses in there. One is understanding your intuition, how to hear it clearly. And one is finding your purpose. So over those 2 months, we walk you through, and we want by the end of that, you to really know exactly what your purpose is by really understanding your life plan.
Well, this is how we're going to wake things up, is one person at a time going through that process. And of course, there are many ways that we can do that. Your awakening came from your dad's death. Mine came from 2 divorces and then meeting Fred Dodson. And we all have our paths and we all have our ways to do it. I am so thrilled that you've made this material available for people to lock onto the program that has been very successful for you. Follow a successful program and you'll be successful. And yours has proven itself over time. And so I'm just thrilled that you're doing that.
Thank you.
And your website.
Yes. If you go over to theangelmedium.com, you'll find me and my picture over there. Also on Instagram, I'm at Angel Podcast. I don't know if this has been happening to you, though. There's a lot of scammers over there right now on Instagram who are creating impersonation accounts. So just a fair warning to anybody, I don't reach out to you. I'm not doing readings right now. I have an executive coaching program where I only take on 30 people a year, and I just work with people like once a month in there. So if somebody reaches out to you asking for a reading, it's not me, it's an impersonator scammer.
I never made the Instagram trip because I just felt that I had a boring, unphotogenic life. But now I have a van, so I'm going to get on there. So it'll be interesting. I'll have to figure out how to not get scammed on Instagram.
I don't think it's something that you can do. So it's just like, remember when email first came out around 2004 and they'd send you this thing like, hey, this king has just offered you this special thing. Send him $1,000. Don't fall for it, people. They're doing it to all healers and it's just happening. It's running rampant. So don't give your money away on Instagram. Always go to somebody's website.
Oh, see, there's always polarity in this whole thing, isn't there? For all the good light that is being shined, there is some darkness, and we just have to navigate through it because that's the way the system is built. We can't resist it. We just have to navigate it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yeah.
I do have one other thing I'd like to ask. We've had several people talking about this in our Facebook group of losing a loved one recently and wanting to connect or feeling that they are hearing messages from them. So like seeing their name pop up in various places and ways. So when somebody is feeling that maybe mom or a friend or whatever is trying to reach out, what are some of the ways that they'll see that? And then what should they do?
Perfect. So this goes back to what I was telling you before. Remember how I was talking about your angels and you'll see angel numbers, but they're really using that to get hold of your consciousness. You have to stop and think about how the brain works when you see the sign. So when you see the sign, you're tapping into your intuition. You're no longer in subconscious. You go to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm seeing it again. And scientists have proven that the way they call it synchronicities, right? We call it signs. When you see those signs, as soon as you're open to it, you're going to see more. Now, what is the meaning when your loved ones are coming through, showing you the cardinals, showing you the numbers themselves, showing you songs or turning songs on the radio that make you think of them? You know what they just whispered in my ear, Thomas? What people need to hear is a lot of times, when you're going about your day, Thomas, is your dad on the other side?
He is.
Okay, because he said this happens to you sometimes with him. You're going about your day, you're minding your business, you're doing your work, and all of a sudden, bam, out of nowhere comes into your mind this memory of dad, right? This happens to people
frequently.
All the time. You think that is you thinking of him. It's not. It's him trying to come through to get your attention. It's him reaching out to you. And so what happens is if you just open yourself to the signs and say, I believe, Dad, come through more. I want to see it. Or Mom, come through more. What happens is now they start to build upon that because they've reached your consciousness. You've made an agreement by believing in the signs that now they can take you deeper. And now they can start to whisper in your ear when you're having a bad day and your mom comes in and she says something that she used to say to you, right? Or dad comes in and says, you've got this. You didn't fail. You didn't do this. You're not messing things up. You've got this. And you really start to feel their comfort because you ever watch the movie Interstellar, Thomas?
I am not a movie person.
Oh, okay. I think that one's fascinating. If you ever have time for a movie, because what they say is love is a dimension. And so, yes, your person is on the other side, but the way that they're taking you deeper is once you believe in the signs that you're seeing, now you can start to feel their presence. And you can start to feel them almost wrapping you with this loving energy to give you a hug, to support you, to tell you you're okay, to tell you to keep going, to cheerlead you. They're your biggest cheerleaders. They're in your corner. They want to help, but they have a new form of communication. They can't just come knock on your door anymore. They have to come through in a telepathic way. And so when you're seeing signs from your loved ones, you have to learn the tools in order to be able to speak that new telepathic language with them and communicate with them in a different way.
Perfect. Makes total sense. So the first
Yeah.
thing is just being aware of the synchronicities that are happening. And then the second thing is to accept them and step into them to get the next level.
Yeah, because all of us know somebody who's like, I don't believe. I don't believe that that's dad coming through. I don't believe that that's mom. Okay, they're closed. There is nothing more your angels can do for you. There is nothing more that your loved ones can do for you to make you believe, because that is you exercising your free will and you have just chosen. I don't want it. I don't want that relationship with you. It doesn't look the same way. It doesn't feel the same way. I want you here in front of me. This is what some people say. And when you do that, you're totally shutting them out. All you have to do is be open. All you have to do is believe in order to take this to the next level.
Perfect. Great explanation. Julie, thank you so much for being here. This has been a delight.
Oh, I just love our conversations, Thomas. You are just an amazing soul. And I'm so proud of all the work that you're doing for so many people. You're amazing.
And we will look forward to seeing you on our Facebook group.
Absolutely. Just send me the link. I'll be there.
The website is theangelmedium.com. Julie Jancius, her book and her podcast, Angels and Awakenings. And if you like what you heard, it's a great opportunity to join our Facebook group, Subconscious Mind Mastery and Fun Astrology podcast listeners, the private group on Facebook, and you can find Julie in there as well. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Thomas Miller. Enjoy the journey.